Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Wicker. To learn more about my services, you can look me up at stephaniewicker.com. And today I wanted to tell you very quickly about Behavior Consultancy and what that is and why it's so awesome. All right, so I'm going to tell you 5 quick ways that I support my families. Okay, the first thing that I do when I'm working with a new family is I help them create clarity. I give them a little bit of guidance, a little bit of nudges, ask a lot of questions to get an idea of what it is they really want. And I try to create a picture in their minds of the family life that they're striving for. What does that look like? Once someone has clarity and once someone has a goal in mind, then we could do all kinds of things. We can put activities in place that help them meet those goals, and then we can put other things in place to judge whether we're being successful or not, whether we need to reassess our approach, all of those kinds of cool things. All right, but it all begins by knowing what you want. So that's where I begin, by giving you guys some clarity or helping you find your goals. The next thing that I do is I help parents understand why these challenging behaviors are happening in the first place and why they're continuing to happen. So first, what was the motivation the first time? And second, what's the function that makes it return? Why does it keep happening again and again and again? Pretty much all the parents that I work with, they're not coming to me because their child had a tantrum once. They're not coming to me because their child was defiant that one time and it was really annoying that one time. Yeah, I wish it was that simple. A lot of the times it's because these families are feeling very overwhelmed. You know, they feel like maybe they've lost that connection with their children and they're not sure why. You know, why is everything a battle? Why does it feel like tug of war just to get the kids at the dinner table or to get homework done or to get the kids dressed for school? Or why is there a tantrum every time I have to tell my child no to their unrealistic requests? So that's what I help them do. I help them understand what's driving behavior in the first place and why it keeps coming back. The next thing that I do is I give them applicable strategies that they can practice immediately. This is incredibly important. I never want to get off the phone knowing that my client doesn't have something that they can do right now. The moment you hang up the phone, I want you to be practicing whatever it is that we discussed. So I'm going to give you specific, individualized approaches that you can use this moment to see their effectiveness. Because if you're not able to apply what it is that we're talking about, then you're not going to get the practice in for yourself. So if you're not practicing these skills, then you're not going to create new habits. So it's very important that we are changing our behavior first. That change in us is what affects the kids. Children are infectious, right? So they tend to mold to whatever environment that they're in, which is why I hear all the time, my kids behave better at school than they do at home. Or vice versa. My kids are great for me, but as soon as they get into the classroom, you know, they really decrease in engagement and they don't care anymore about learning. And I don't understand, you know, what's going on there. It's all about the environment. Kids mold to their environment. So they adapt to us. And that's how it should be. We should not be changing our behavior to match theirs. If your child wakes up cranky or maybe they're in a bad mood, then we're the adult, right? So we need to be the ones who are choosing to control our own behavior. By showing them self-regulation in ourselves, then we can teach them how to self-regulate themselves. So anyway, so that's the third thing that I do is I give you guys immediate strategies that you can apply. The next thing that I do is I basically give you the knowledge. So what is behind every strategy? There is always a behavior principle. There is always some method behind the developmental approach that I have. And I give parents as much knowledge as I can. And the reason that I do that is so parents can generalize those skills and those new habits immediately. So first you apply something and you're like, wow, this is working really well. Okay, but what do I do if my child responds in a way that I don't expect? What do I do if my child wakes up and they're in a bad mood? This isn't going the way that I thought it would. Now what? I try to give you guys the skills and the knowledge to where you can adapt to those challenging situations because you know the basic principles behind everything that I say now. And what's more than that is you can now take this knowledge and pass it on to your partner, your husband, your parents, your in-laws, maybe even the preschool teachers who are struggling with behaviors at school as well. You can share this information with other people who you know affect the behavior of your child. So now you've created this wonderful support team. You have all of these allies working together with you simply because you understand the principles behind everything that I have taught you. So that is huge. That is such a big thing. That's what changes lives. That's how I see it. That's what will change your family life, is having the knowledge behind all of the decisions that you're making, so you know why you're doing it. Plus, it makes you much more likely to be consistent in the future. You're going to have days where it's really hard and you're going to forget. You're going to forget what to do, and you're going to be overwhelmed, and maybe you're going to make a poor decision, just like children make poor decisions too. And that's okay. It's not a big deal. But because you have this basic understanding, you're going to be able to correct it the next day. You're going to have another go at it. So those are the 5 things that I do to support families. I provide additional support in schools, preschools, extended family through workshops, all kinds of services that support your family and that support you to create the home life that you really, really want. Okay? So if you're interested, just look me up at stephaniewicker.com. Thank you so much for listening.